One of the most well-known and well-received kart racing versus games are the Mario Kart games. With the first iteration being released in 1992 for the Super Nintendo, its huge success made it inevitable to spawn sequels, and so it did. So much so that they're still going strong till this day. But one specific game that I keep getting asked to do a video about is the beta of Mario Kart 64. And so in today's video, we'll be discussing the beta of Mario Kart 64, which was then titled Super Mario Kart R. Now to begin, let's talk about the title itself. The working title for this game was called Super Mario Kart R. Now for whatever reason, this is actually a common thing with racers in Japan. With other games such as Sonic R, Pro Racing R, and so on, it's believed by some that the R stands for racing, while others argue that it actually stands for rendered. On November 24, 1995, Nintendo finally presented the final version of the Ultra 64, which was renamed Nintendo 64 due to copyright issues. This happened at the Shoshinkai Software Exhibition. Among the 30 titles shown in playable form or in video were Star Fox, Wave Race, and one of the most interesting was Super Mario Kart R, an early beta follow-up of our favorite kart racing game for the Super Nintendo, Super Mario Kart. Now if one were to compare the other games that were shown at the Shoshinkai that year, you could come to the conclusion that Super Mario Kart R was pretty much finished, since there appears to be no particular changes in the track design, but the differences for the playable characters are interesting. Now this is probably the biggest difference between the beta and the released version of Mario Kart 64. And as you can see, Kami Koopa, or Magic Koopa, was a playable character in the game instead of Donkey Kong. And the character select screen itself had different images representing the racers. Also, the multiplayer split screen could have been set to horizontal or vertical, but this option was obviously removed in the final version, but later implemented in the Double Dash version of Mario Kart for the Nintendo GameCube. Another small difference was the item box itself. The item boxes were completely black with colored question marks, and other various little graphic details like the HUD were changed before the game was actually published and released, which can be seen in these early images. And also another very interesting thing that I had found is the feather item from the original Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo was meant to be used in Super Mario Kart R. As you can see from one of the screenshots, Toad has it in his item HUD. Now the feather would have let the player jump very high to reach new shortcuts or to avoid obstacles. Now this particular screenshot can be seen on the back of the packaging of the Nintendo 64 system. As you can see in this image, the boos from the stage Banshee Boardwalk also had a different look. This picture also shows off the different look that the HUD sported. Now let's take a look at the title screen. As you can see, it has the original Super Mario Kart R intended title on there. Here's another picture that showed off the early look of the boos, and Bowser, as you can see, sported a blue kart instead of his typical orange. Early looks at Moo Moo Farm shows various changes to the track. You can notice the use of the Japanese names for the track and the Mushroom Kinoko Cup. Also notice the track and cup name in the unused corner instead of the level map. The debug menu was also an option that appeared in the title screen, but this was after the title screen itself had already been reworked. When going to the bottom of the menu, there will be an extra option allowing the player to get all of the gold cups. Now if you pay attention, there are also no V's or E's that appear when drifting around corners. And for whatever reason, the lap numbers still appear in the bottom of battle mode when playing with a friend. Now while we're on the topic of this game, let's go ahead and discuss the infamous Marty the Thwomp hidden character myth. Now for those of you who don't know, in Bowser's Castle track, in the area with the multiple Thwomps, you can clearly see a green Thwomp being caged behind the others. Now throughout the years, rumors have surfaced that you can in fact unlock this character named Marty to be a playable kart racer. Now in order to do this, supposedly, you must select Bowser, select Bowser's Castle, and then circle the Bowser statue counterclockwise 3 times and run the track in reverse and then circle the statue once again. Then go to the caged Thwomp and the bars will be lifted and you will hear a 1-up sound. Now on March 23rd, 2007, a video was uploaded of someone doing this successfully, kickstarting this rumor. But it was obviously fake. So no, it does not exist, okay? Please stop. This just doesn't exist. Now this has actually been proven by players doing the impossible and actually attempting this successfully and still nothing. So no, this rumor has no grounds, it is absolutely fake and does not exist. And as far as the rest of the beta, I would say that the changes happened for the better. Mario Kart 64 turned out to be an awesome game that many people still play to this day, including myself. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much the beta of Mario Kart 64. Now while the changes aren't too drastic, I would say that aside from the Magic Koopa, the changes were for the better. Now thank you guys for watching. Check out some of our other videos if you'd like. Here's a link for our two playlists, one for our gaming beta videos and another one for our unreleased game video series. And don't forget to check out our Twitter to give us any recommendations for any other videos you'd like to see on the channel. And I'll see you all next time.